Alright, we're on to lesson 46, more in radical expressions and radicals to fractional exponents. This one is a two-part lesson, so I'm thinking it's going to take me more than 5 minutes to do this lesson, so bear with me. I'll try to go as quickly as possible. Okay, we have radical expressions, which it doesn't have an equal sign, so it's an expression and it has radicals in it. So what our job is to simplify this mess. And right away we can see we have radicals in the denominators, and that's illegal. So I didn't leave myself much space for this, so I'm going to start over here and then go this way. So here we go. First thing you need to do is rationalize your denominators. So we're going to split this up. 3 square root of 2 over the square root of 7. And we're going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 7. Minus 5 square root of 7 over the square root of 2. And here we have a radical in the denominator, so we're going to rationalize. And then finally this one can be separated into square root of 4 times the square root of 14. Alright, simplify from there. So we get 3 times the square root of 14 over 7. Square root of 7 times square root of 7 is 7. Minus 5 square root of 14 over square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. And then we have left on 3, square root of 4 is 2, so it's going to be 6 times the square root of 14. We cannot get rid of our fractions because we do not have an equal sign, so we need to find for ourselves a common denominator. You look, your denominators are 7 and 2, so our common denominator is 14. This one needs to be multiplied by a 2 to give us 14, so we need to multiply the numerator by a 2. So that gives us 6, the square root of 14. This one needs to be multiplied by 7 to give us 14, so we have to multiply this 5 by a 7. So it's going to be minus 35, square root of 14. And this is over 1, so we can multiply by 14. So 6 times 14 is going to give us 84. And then finally these two are like terms, so we can add those babies together. And we get, square root of 14. Actually all three of these are like terms. How about that? So we add the numbers in front of the square roots, and we get 55 square root of 14 over 14. Oops. There's only one problem like these because I feel like they're fairly simple. You just rationalize, find a common denominator, add the like terms together. Now it's not always going to have 3 like terms, sometimes just 2 will be alike. You add those 2 and then the other guy would just trail along. Now this is the fun part right here. This is radical to fractional exponents. So we got a few of these. I don't know if we've done this before. I'm thinking we must not have. Some of these, you can't really simplify this, but what we can do is you have to know, and I forget if we did this before, the square root of 3 is the same thing as 3 to the 1/2 power. I feel like we did this. This is your index is 2 and it's sitting on the seat, so it has to go on the bottom of the fraction. So we're going to change our radicals into fractional exponents. So let's just do that. We're going to start in the inside. So square root of 3 can be written as 3 to the 1/2 power. And we can keep that inside the parentheses. And this whole thing, this 3 is under a radical, so it's all to the 1/2 power. So I simply took my radicals out and changed them into fractional exponents. This one stays. Both of these things are under this radical, so both of these things are to the 1/2 power. And then we're just going to try to remember our rules of exponents. This is a power to a power, so we multiply exponents, so we have 3 to the 1/2, and then this is going to be 3 to the 1/4 power. And we're still remembering all the rules of exponents, which is really important for a lot of things that we're going to do in life. So our common denominator, we have the bases are the same, so we need to add the fractions. You add the exponents and the bases are the same. So we can put this one into fourths, This is 2/4 plus 1/4 would be 3/4. And that's how you simplify a radical using fractional exponents. So that would be the final answer for that one. Let's try another one. Let's go to example 3 here. So we're going to start from the inside. So the square root of 3 is 3 to the 1/2 power. And we're going to keep that in parentheses. And then we have a 3 out front. And both of these guys are under a cube root. So it's going to be to the 1/3 power. Remember, this is on the seat, so it goes on the bottom. And then we multiply our exponents, so we get 3 to the 1/3 and 3 to the 1/6. Now the bases are the same, so we add our exponents. So we change this into 6. So it'll be 2/6. So we get 3. 2/6 and 1/6 is 3/6. And so our final answer is 3 to the 1/2 power. And that's your final answer. Let's try some with variables in it. We're going to do the same thing. Both of these things are under a square root. So we would take both of these variables and we would take it to the 1/2 power. Both of these variables are under a cube root, so it would be the 1/3 power. So we have powers to powers, so we multiply. So we get x to the 3/2, y to the 2/2, and that's just 1. And now it's all just kind of leveling out. We get x to the 1/3. Not very good 1/3, is it? 1/3. That's not very good either. Y to the 1/3. Now when we have them, we don't have power to power anymore. We just have multiplying variables. We add the exponents to the variables whose bases are the same. So we have x to the 3/2 plus 1/3. We add the 3/2 and 1/3. So our common denominator is 6 here. I just do this right in here. It's probably really messy for you guys. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And we take this times 2, so we have to take this times 2. So we're going to get 11/6. Let me just make sure I got that right. Yes, I did. So we have 11/6 for our x's. Remember, you can only add exponents when the bases are alike. And then we have y. This would be the same as 3/3, and 1/3 would give us 4/3. And that's it. You have to remember your exponent rules. When you have a power to power, you multiply. And when you're multiplying and the bases are the same, you add the exponents. So you can go ahead and try example 5 if you want and see if you get the right answer. You can pause the video. Alright, let's try it. Hopefully you tried it yourself. Here we go. So we get x to the 5th, y to the 3rd. We went to Altoona and we dropped Josh off at State College back at Penn State before we came back to Westchester. Alright, so these are both under radicals. It's under root 3, so it's 1/3, and this is under root 4, so it's 1/4. We multiply these out, so we get x to the 5/3, y, 3 times 1/3 is just 1, and then we have x to the 1/4, y to the 5/4, and then you just add. You can use your calculators. I think that's kind of lazy, but you can do that. That's fine with me. So let's do our x's. So we add x to the 5/3. Let's find our common denominator, 12. I like to do it the old-fashioned way. It's 23. So it would be 23/12. And then we do our y. So this is y. So that would be 4/4 and 5/4 would give us 9/4. And that's your final answer. Alright, that's it for lesson 46.